It's late, properly late, and you're lying in bed with the duvet pulled up, phone held above your face, the screen the only light in the room. Someone from your old school pops up in your feed. You did roughly the same exams. You earn, as far as you can tell, roughly the same money. And yet there's a brand new Defender sitting on their driveway, still gleaming, plates barely a month old. Last week it was a beach in Marbella, cocktail in hand. This week it's a kitchen extension, all glass and downlighters lit up like a showroom on a Sunday night. You do the maths in your head, lying there in the dark. You know roughly what that kind of life costs, and the numbers just don't add up. You think they've made it. They haven't. They've just borrowed a very convincing costume. My name is Nick, and I spend way too much time thinking about why some people seem to be winning at money while earning exactly the same as everyone else. If you've ever lain awake comparing your bank balance to someone else's highlight reel, make sure to hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up if this helps you out. Here's the uncomfortable truth underneath that costume. Most of them aren't rich. They're broke in genuinely lovely clothes. The highlight reel never shows the debt sitting underneath it. Almost none of it is actually owned outright. That car is financed. The holiday went straight onto a credit card, tapped through at the airport lounge without a second thought. The kitchen extension is a second charge sitting on the house itself. What you're looking at midnight from your own bed is a borrowed life. It's rented month by month, and the rent never, ever stops. The national numbers back this up completely. The average British household is carrying debt worth 117% of its income, more than a full year's wages, and that's before the mortgage even enters the conversation separately. Around 84% of UK adults are carrying some kind of loan or credit right now. The average adult has around £4,000 in unsecured debt alone. The average credit card balance is close to £1,900, and the average interest rate charged runs comfortably over 24%. This is a country that has become remarkably good at hiding its bills, and the whole performance is balanced on precisely nothing underneath it. Roughly 39% of Brits have £1,000 or less put aside in total. A full quarter of the country has under £200 sitting anywhere. And around 16%, something like 9 million people, have absolutely nothing saved at all. Picture the exact moment it all goes wrong. The boiler gives out in January, right in the middle of a cold snap, and the engineer's already warning you it won't be cheap. Or the car fails its MOT with a bill that makes your stomach drop. For most of these flashy, glowing lives, that's the moment the whole balloon pops. There's no buffer sitting behind any of it. One ordinary, boring accident and the entire illusion folds in on itself.
So how does an ordinary salary actually fund a life like that?
Let's open the machine up and look at who actually benefits from each part. Start with the ultimate British status symbol, the car sitting on the drive. Around 90% of new cars in this country are bought on finance, most through personal contract purchase deals. Nobody stands in the showroom under those bright overhead lights and asks the salesperson for the total price of the car. They ask only one question: can I afford the monthly figure on the screen? That's not an accident, and it's not your fault either. It's the entire model. The finance company doesn't want you doing that sum. If you worked out the real total, sitting there under the lights, a good chunk of buyers would quietly walk back out of the showroom. A £60,000 vehicle becomes a subscription instead of a monthly fee for an image, nothing more. You'll never actually own the thing sitting on your drive. At the end of the agreement, you hand the keys back across that same desk, and then you sign up all over again. You're renting an image and paying a hefty interest rate for the privilege. Then there's the rise of buy now, pay later apps. Something like 11 million UK adults use them now, roughly 1 in 5 of us. It's not just sofas and washing machines anymore. People are splitting a clothing haul at the checkout into 4 neat little payments. They're splitting the weekly food shop the same way. Some are even financing a Friday night takeaway on an instalment plan. Sit with that for a second. An actual curry paid off over several weeks. These apps were built by people who understand exactly how your brain works under pressure. Splitting a payment into 4 doesn't change what you owe by a single penny. It just quietly switches off the part of your brain that would normally hesitate. That's not a glitch in the product. That is the product. Spread 10 tiny payments across 5 different apps, and next month's wages are gone before they even land. For homeowners, the trick runs even deeper. They remortgage the moment the house price creeps up and release the equity sitting inside the walls. That equity should be genuine, real net worth. Instead, it becomes a new kitchen or a fortnight in Marbella. You're borrowing against your own future to buy things that start losing value the moment you drive them off the forecourt or walk out of the showroom. You feel richer for about a fortnight. In reality, you're getting steadily poorer. So what does this whole borrowed life actually cost every single month? Let's add up the real numbers behind it. £500 a month for the car, £200 across the split payment apps. Minimum payments are ticking over on the credit cards. That's easily £750 a month, gone, purely to maintain an appearance. That's the genuine price tag on the highlight reel. Now take that exact same £750 a month and imagine putting it somewhere else entirely. A steady, unglamorous global index fund, earning a fairly standard 7% a year. Over 10 years, that same money grows into well over £100,000. That's the real choice sitting underneath all of this. It was never car versus no car. It's a monthly performance versus a genuine small fortune.
So why do we fall for it? Why does this trick work on people who are otherwise perfectly sensible? Because you're comparing your own behind the scenes to someone else's highlight reel. You see your overdraft. You see your own tired Tuesday morning as you drag yourself out of bed, and you hold that up against their best 10 seconds of footage. It was never a fair fight to begin with. You're watching a carefully curated highlight reel, edited down to the only parts worth posting. Nobody ever posts a screenshot of their direct debits. Nobody posts the debt collection texts that land on their phone. Nobody films the quiet panic at 3 in the morning, lying awake, trying to work out how the numbers are supposed to stretch this month. So what does real wealth actually look like here in Britain? It'll probably surprise you, because real wealth is boring. It's almost completely invisible from the outside. Real wealth is a paid-off Volvo, 5 years old, that owes absolutely nobody a single penny. Real wealth is a modest semi-detached house with small, steady overpayments chipping away at the mortgage each month.
Real wealth is a maxed out stocks and shares ISA. It's a self-invested personal pension, compounding away in the background, growing steadily where nobody's watching or clapping for it.
Real wealth is a fully funded emergency account, sitting there doing absolutely nothing, patiently waiting for the exact moment the boiler eventually breaks. When it does, the person with real wealth just shrugs, pays the bill, and gets on with their day. The genuinely wealthy don't perform any of this online. They don't trend. There's no hashtag for them. Up and down the entire country, they tend to look completely unremarkable. At some point, without fanfare, they made one unglamorous decision to buy assets instead of buying appearances. So the next time you're scrolling at midnight, remember this. The problem was never that you weren't doing well enough. It's that you've been keeping score using a scoreboard someone else rigged to look better than it is. The car is rented. The lifestyle is borrowed. The safety net simply isn't there underneath any of it. Every single pound spent trying to look rich is a pound that can never compound into something that actually sets you free. Choose the freedom instead. It's much quieter. Nobody claps for it online, but unlike the version on the screen, it's actually, genuinely yours. If you've got a story about a lifestyle that turned out to be more borrowed than it looked, or a number you're quietly working toward yourself, tell me in the comments. If this changed how you look at your own feed, hit like and subscribe so you don't miss the rest of this series. See you in the next video.